Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Super Sub Podcast, hosted by Harish and Narv. The podcast where two brothers talk all things footy, drop takes hotter than a manager's seat after a five-game slump like Amarim, discuss who deserves our prestigious award of Super Sub of the Week. So it's football talk that feels like you're here in the room with us. So lace up your boots as we get underway. Um, I can't hear you, Narv.
Oh,
Oh, I got you
point
now. Yeah.
3 point collectors.
One win in a while. But yeah, I'll let you start off with the super subs before we get into today. We'll just kind of recap the games that have happened across the Premier League, La Liga, maybe touch on Serie A too. But yeah, we'll start out with our super subs of the week.
So my super sub, I think this weekend was actually a pretty good weekend. Like options in terms of picking super subs.
Hmm.
Um, but mine, uh, I think I'll go with a rogue shout and say Jorginho Ruter for Brighton. I thought Danny Welbeck, he's getting up there in age, and he's pretty reliable, but like he's kept pretty quiet throughout the match. Um, and I thought
Hmm.
Fabian Hurstler made the sub like perfect timing. And as soon as like Ruter came in, it seemed like he was kind of used as a focal point where he was linking up play. And even that chance, the game winner by Gruda, um, that was kind of like really good interplay between Ruter and Gruda. Um, I know he didn't like get any GAs, but I think just the impact he had, he was effective.
Yeah, that's a good shout. I was thinking about having Gruda as mine, but yeah, the two of them when they came on, they were looking like prime MSN. Their link up. Uh, so for me, I was gonna pick Gruda, but I'll kind of stay away from that game just given that you selected him, Uter. So I'm gonna go with your boy Curtis Jones for Liverpool. Um, that big game, Liverpool versus Arsenal, just it was kind of just weak. Like Arsenal definitely seemed like they were going for the tie, but like Liverpool also weren't creating much chances, and it was difficult to break down Arsenal. Um, and McAllister, like, I mean, you know his quality, but just like that Arsenal squad is like pretty physical and like a strong, like that midfield is super strong, and he just didn't like. It's tough for him to kind of play against that type of midfield, but I thought Curtis Jones, when he came in, completely changed the game. Liverpool really looked like on the front foot and kind of wakened up when he came on. Just like his ability to like turn uh, against like some really strong players, and like he's a good passer and can carry the ball, I think, much better than McAllister, which really helped.
Yeah, and
And to your point, he also didn't get GA, but uh, a great super sub.
I'm sure we'll for sure touch on that game. Actually, I don't know how much we'll touch on it just because it's kind of boring, but Curtis Jones, he's uh, kind of like an engine also where he brings that energy in the midfield. Always running
Yeah.
to like those pocketed spaces.
Hmm. But yeah, we'll save that game. We'll go in kind of order for the weekend. So we'll start out in Stamford Bridge, Chelsea versus Fulham.
Up the
Got
Chels.
up the Chelsea, got another dub. But I do think we were a little lucky to come away with all 3 points, especially Fulham. I mean, the big talking point was the disallowed goal by Josh King. It was a great finish, but some controversy there with VAR and the overturning of that decision. And then, we kind of capitalized with a goal before half. And then once we got our second goal in the second half, it was kind of GG. We kind of controlled that game. So, wanted to see your thoughts, maybe some players that stuck out, and maybe how you feel about Chelsea and their title chances this year so far. It's only 3 games,
Yeah.
but
I thought it was a Fulham looked the much better team, especially that first half overall. I think episode one when we like were or one of our episodes for this season when we were talking about young player predictions, I said either Oscar Bob or Josh King.
mhm.
King was really like running the show, I think, for Fulham. He was picking up really uh like dangerous positions with his runs. I'm not sure why he just wasn't getting picked up, but he was just roaming around everywhere and like had a lot of dangerous balls in there. Mooney's couldn't really get to the end of it, but I mean, I thought Josh King was outstanding.
Yeah, I think what impresses me the most about him is like obviously his technical abilities is there, but like just his IQ, like to your point, like why wasn't he getting picked up by a lot of our players? But it's like like his heat map was crazy. Like he was getting the ball from kind of all over the front three line. And he was like he's really good at like finding space. And I think it helps that he is playing in a midfield with Lukic and Sanderberg, who are much more like defensive and positionally disciplined. So I think that definitely helps him out, his game out. He doesn't have to worry about that.
Yeah, and that I think that goal that got disallowed was a well taken finish. And that could have,
Oh yeah.
I mean, if that goal stood, it definitely could have changed the momentum the other way, I think. So I think Fulham just, and then even the goal they conceded that was the penalty, I thought it was unfortunate because it looked like it hit João Pedro's hand. So it shouldn't have stood, but those
Hmm.
are tough ones. But I mean, I thought Chelsea was a bit lucky to leave with 3 points, but that's an important 3 points to go away with. Um,
Yeah. I mean,
what you, I know the,
Fulham's not an easy opponent.
yeah, they're a
Uh,
tricky one. Marcus Silva's a pretty good coach. So,
hmm.
what did you? I know like the PMGOL, whatever the referee committee like came out after the game saying that first goal they got it wrong. Um, but what did you think? Because I thought the decision like I wasn't too fussed about it.
Yeah, I think it's it could really go 50-50 based on like who you ask. Um, but like the thing for me is like the referee got a clear view of it like during the game. And so like it makes sense that VAR is like, hey, do you just want to have a second look, you know? But I think like some of these refs just they need the cojones to like stick to their decision. And like the more you just like look at it, you kind of convince yourself that like, oh, I did make a mistake. And like, you know, VAR told me to come look at this. And like you convince yourself like why you were wrong.
Mm.
Because I think like I think it was
I thought it was a
unfortunate.
foul.
Yeah, I don't know. Like he was kind of just like trying to land, and Chalobah's foot was kind of just in the way.
Mhm.
But then also like he did lose the ball, so I don't know. It's kind of a toss up. Like I wouldn't have been mad if it stood.
Yeah.
And I think like to your point, like before our goal, we looked really sloppy, and our buildup was poor. And I think it just goes to show like I think Chalobah and Tosin, those two have like they've been pretty good for us so far. So it's only been a few games, but this was definitely one of their poorer games. They were losing track of Muniz, and they were just looking pretty lost. But even our buildup looked really sloppy and slow, and I think that just goes to show we're really missing Levi Colwill because his playmaking and like passing abilities is probably the best out of all our center backs.
Yeah. Even yeah, but even to your point, I still think Chalaba and Tosin had a good game. I think the one player who was a bit off, looked sloppy was Enzo. I know like the the apps like based on he got on the GA obviously, so the apps like his match rating will be a bit inflated, but like if you deeped it, I don't his performance was a little like kind of sloppy.
Yeah, it was definitely frustrating. Like we were on the counter two or three times I remember vividly, and he just took one too many touches or just lost it, or like he would just kind of his passing was just was poor. So it was a frustrating performance, and like the fans, it seemed like they were definitely on him, and like
Yeah,
even at
agree.
half, like it was
Yeah, I saw that video
shocking.
circulating.
Yeah, where he
That
was
didn't
kind of
look
like
good.
so,
Was
and I
that
mean,
directed to the coaching staff or?
yeah, I think just like a combination of the fans getting on him, like it was every time he lost it, the fans would kind of jeer, and then coaching staff is also kind of apparently always on his case. And like even throughout the game, I saw a clip where Maresca was kind of yelling at him, like trying to say something, and Enzo completely like ignores him. So I think maybe it's just getting in his head, like just too much, uh, like feedback and too much on him. So, but yeah, that was not good scenes.
Yeah. Um, but I think it's a big win, and again, it's an important one without Cole Palmer because I know uh, you guys used to get a lot of stick, especially last year, saying like getting carried by Cole Palmer, but like
Mhm.
now the past back-to-back games, you guys are getting wins even without him.
Yeah. And I mean, it's been a slow start for us, to be honest, but 7 points out of nine possible isn't terrible.
Mm-mm.
And yeah, to your point, we're doing it without Cole Palmer. It's also the start of the season. So yeah, I think we're just going to get better as the season progresses.
Yeah,
I think
I
Delap,
still.
though, Delap is a huge injury, though. That's going to be a huge loss. I think probably 6 to 8 weeks
Mm.
with that hammy, maybe even longer, but that's going to be a huge loss just because now either João Pedro has to play as a striker, or we just recalled Mark Gay from Sunderland. So it's those two, and like it's crazy how like Nicholas Jackson like landed in Bayern, like and everything like that, and then we were trying to like it was like almost deal done with our loan Nicholas Jackson to Bayern, and he landed in Bayern, and then that's exactly when Delap got hurt, and we were like, oh wait, this might be on pause.
Yeah, that loan is crazy. Probably like one of the most expensive loans in history. Wild.
Yeah, 15 million. I know we'll get to transfers at the end, but yeah, we can touch on this one. It was 15 million and with an obligation to buy. I'm not sure what the clause is. It's probably like play 40 games or something.
Yeah, so the only details I know is like the 15 million loan fee, and then if they want to buy him, then it will be an additional 65 mil. But then if they send him back, like if they don't want to buy him, then they have to pay an additional like 7 mil.
Yeah, but no, there's a clause where Bayern have to buy him if something happens. Like
Oh, yeah,
there's an
that's
obligation to buy.
yeah, but if they break that obligation, it's like that it's basically like a penalty.
Yeah, another fee. But yeah, what I'm saying is like there's still another like Bayern, they're gonna be obliged to buy him.
Mhm.
So like I do think that's really possible that they're probably gonna trigger that.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So but yeah, it seems like he's in Bayern, so that and I mean I've been preaching about it and people kind of laugh like, dude, you guys have made so many signings, but like if you really peep it, like our depth, like I've been saying, we need another number 10 and another striker, and this is exactly why. Like that's why I wanted Nicholas Jackson, but um now I guess with Buonate too on loan to us, like that's gonna be key in terms of our depth.
Yeah. He's a loan, right? Not a permanent though.
Yeah, on loan. So, and I'm excited about him because I'm a fan of his game. I think he's
He looked good
super
in
skillful.
Leicester. Yeah.
Oh, oh yeah, Leicester, even at Brighton when he played, he's a young player, and like I definitely think depending on how he performs this year, like we'll probably end up buying him because I
Yeah.
think he's mad talent. I think just the physical aspect he kind of lacks, but
Mhm.
other than that, yeah, I'm excited for him. He can
And
play
his,
like that number 10 role.
yeah. And his Brighton compadre after this year will come back, Julio and Enciso.
Oh yeah, that's right.
It's my guy. I was hurt when I saw that.
Blue Co notification. Yeah. But yeah, I didn't have much else from this one. So we can move on to kind of like the 10 o'clock window. We'll touch on the Spurs game first. I think we'll be able to fly through this one. Spurs versus Bournemouth, but this was honestly just an absolute clapping. Like the score line doesn't show it, but
Ah,
yeah,
his
I mean this
Vicario
was
went crazy.
yeah, Vicario. I think he's the only one that can be proud of his performance. I think everyone else for Spurs were quite poor. Um, Spurs back line looked pretty poor across the board. I thought
I thought
that
Spence looked pretty decent still.
I don't know. He was giving Brooks a lot of space to make some crosses, and Semenyo, like he nutted on one, like it was literally right on the six
Ah,
yard line.
yeah.
But like Brooks, his left foot is insane.
Hmm.
But I thought Spurs midfield especially looked really poor. The whole team looked poor, man. Brendan Johnson looked poor. Richarlison, they
Yeah,
just
that midfield really lacked any sort of creativity.
yeah. I think Bentancur and Polinia, like there's certain teams like the City game where you're not going to have a lot of possession. I think those games that pairing is decent, but like even Sar is like not a true 10. Like it's against a
This
team
could,
like
yeah,
Bournemouth.
this could have been a game where they try out Kudus in the 10 role and
Hmm.
maybe put Odegaard out wide. 'Cause Kudus can kind of play that role, so.
Oh yeah, he had kind of a stinker too.
Hmm.
But do you want to touch on who impressed you for Bournemouth? I know you were watching the United game mostly, but you were able to catch kind of the replay of this game.
Yeah, uh, it's gotta be Semenyo. That that man, he's gonna get a big money move. I think he should have got one this summer. I think he would have been like, he's not like that household glamour name, but like he would have, I think, made a huge impact for Arsenal. I know Eze's a good like obviously Eze will elevate them, but I think Semenyo would have elevated them like to another level. Um,
Hmm.
and I think this season, especially the past three games, like he's had a really good start to the year. Um, so he impressed me quite a bit. Tyler Adams, he was impressive. He kind of locked down all three of them himself in that midfield. And then Evan Nielsen, I know we're both big fans of his. Doesn't quite always get on the score sheet, but like work rate and like the pocket of spaces he picks up, like he's always a threat. It's just been the final touches to his game, which he added this past weekend.
Yeah, and it's impressive what like Uriola's been able to do with this team because I mean, if you look at the team sheet, like none of the names apart from like Semenyo really is really that like standout type player. Um,
Clivert's
like
still hurt. So
Clivert's, yeah, exactly. And it's a lot of like, and everyone was like, "Ooh, Bournemouth, they're losing like their whole back line, like to elite teams." And I mean, it was a strong group, but like what he's been able to do with like the new incomings of Triford or Truford, that left back, he's looked pretty
yeah, he
decent.
looked good. Yeah,
Um,
and
old
this,
head,
yeah.
yeah, and then old head Adam Smith and Diakite, like you were about to say, like they've all looked really good
Hmm.
together. So it's impressive just like how good Bournemouth's looked with just like the names you see on the team sheet. And I think it goes to like just coaching.
Hmm. Yeah, they're really well coached. They're enjoyment to watch for sure.
Oh yeah.
And then David Brooks too, like uh his crossing ability is crazy. Like I feel like he's been adding that Travella to his game also.
Oh yeah. He looks young, but I didn't realize he's actually kind of getting up there.
Yeah, I thought he was still a youngster, like
Yeah.
25, 24,
Yeah.
and 30.
But your point on Semenyo, it is crazy. Just like he is kind of that one gold like nugget in this team, that like, superstar type. Kind of reminds me of like the Southampton days of Mane, where like he kind of stayed an extra year before that Liverpool transfer. But like it seems like Semenyo, like he's just giving like that same vibe.
Oh yeah, that's a really good comp.
Just due for like a big move now next
Hmm.
year. And then, yeah, if we want to move on to
Oh,
the
sorry.
next,
One
so
last point on that game
yeah,
too. Uh, Tottenham's. I think they only their first shot on target was like 55th minute.
Bergvall, yeah. So speaking of the stats, like at halftime, Bournemouth had 11 shots to Tottenham 0. And then, yeah, Bournemouth, they ended up getting 20 shots with 6 on target, and Tottenham had 5 shots and just that one Bergvall shot on target. But yeah, let's move on to Old Trafford. Burnley versus United. This one was much more entertaining.
3 point collectors. Let's go.
Finally, how does it feel to be on the top half of the table
Oh, I feel
after a very
great.
long time?
Jeez, we're ahead of City, Newcastle, Villa, ahead of some elite
Forest.
teams. Yeah. There's a weird
Yeah, I thought
one that makes it
y'all
emotional.
would be I thought y'all would be competing with like the likes of Leeds. You guys are ahead of them
Bottom half.
too. Burnley.
Should have. I don't think the scoreline reflects the true game. I think the first half we should put this game away. It should have been like 3-0 at halftime. Again, it was like reminiscent of the Fulham game. Um, and after the midweek disappointment to Grimsby, I know Amarin and we put that episode out where I had the whole United rant. Like,
Hmm.
you don't need a manager to beat a League Two side team. Come on. Um, but obviously with that loss, now is like ton of pressure on Amarin, like to get a win, like week by week. And if we lost to Burnley, it would have been really hard for him, I think. And
Oh
so
yeah.
for that first half, like
But
the
go. We need to rewind real quick to that Grimsby point. I do think the players obviously are to blame because it's freaking Grimsby, but like also Amarin, like why are you still playing a back five? Like, what are you doing? Like with these like bringing in extra center backs and stuff? Like it's just this is Grimsby Town, dude. Like what are you doing? Like sticking to your like, if anything, this is when you like kind of experiment with different formations and players and but you're so persistent on playing your way and it wasn't working.
that's what the fans asked for, though.
But I mean, what did Einstein say? Like you do the same thing that doesn't work. You expect the same result doing the
Uh-huh.
same thing, or you expect a different result doing the same thing. Like
Yeah.
that's what makes you like a psycho. Like,
Yeah, that whole cameraman in that game did us so dirty with the Amarin meme. Um, with him
playing a
playing with the
clipboard.
tech. And I don't know why he got so much heat for that either. Like you're literally managing a game like uh
Because he was also doing it during a water break where like most managers would take advantage of that water break to coach your players, inspire your players, give them a little pep talk, but he was nowhere to be seen, just sitting on the bench. Like, come on now. What are you doing?
yeah, the amount of memes from that was like him playing the DJ, playing with you.
Dude, they're
You cards one
hilarious.
killed me. But yeah, the Burnley game, I was like, man, because we should have been up 3-0 coming into the second half. And then so what got me really scared was this might be the day where we lose uh that record of never losing after having the halftime record. And I was like, if we
Hmm.
lose that record against Burnley, that would really be GG's. But Burnley did level it up, and then
Twice.
yeah, and Buemo though got that quick goal to take the lead, and then yeah, to your point, Burnley leveled it again, and then got the PK at the end. So scrappy second half, but I think he
And
coached to win. Like it's not on Amarin to like put away these sitters that we missed, but like
yeah,
and stuff. So I think players got to take accountability. End of the day.
I don't like the argument people make where the argument's been, is it the players or is it Amarim? You know, I think it's a mix of both though. Like I think both parties are to blame. Like to your point, Diallo missed a absolute sitter. You know, like I could have tapped that in blindfolded, but like players are to blame for sure. But like also Amarin, just like he's just not been able to be adaptive. You have a player like Kobe Mainu, and he's not part of your plans. Like how how are you not able to adapt like one of the brightest stars, young stars in the world? Like that's something to do with coaching. So I think it is a mix of both. Um, but yeah, it is kind of I guess 3 points is 3 points, but the way you guys had to go about it to get it is kind of worrying.
Fighting. Yeah.
And like Burnley too, I think I I keep watching the highlight of it, like that one offsides goal, and
Yeah,
dude,
that was a little rigged.
that is onside. I was like, what is how is that offside? I was screaming like it was below his like shoulder.
Yeah, that one was
That
a
was
little,
all.
even with the images, it still looked onside. Um, so that was, yeah. And then Mainu, yeah, he's got to come in for Ugarte. I mean, for Casemiro, like him and Bruno can play along. We saw when Kavi had his debut, like he was kind of playing that box to box role, like Everton game when he first made his
Mhm.
debut. Like he's making so many recoveries. Even in this game when he came on, you could see he didn't have the best of cameos, but like in terms of recovering defensively, I thought he did pretty well. Um, Cunha, unfortunately, injury, big loss, but.
Yeah,
I think Flowers we got to give to is Mason Mount. The start of the season he
yeah.
had is crazy.
It may not mean much just given like the poor performance of everyone at United, but he's definitely looked like the best player so far this season.
Yeah.
Um, and I mean, it just speaks to his like because every team he's been on, like he's always starting or like managers love him, so it just like speaks to his quality and like yeah, I guess like the game days like when it matters, like fans don't necessarily see it all the time, but like now it's been a little more consistent after a while now.
hmm Yeah. So
How,
hopefully, I know he
are
had a
you
minor
are you-
injury,
are
but
you worried about Sesko? I mean, he didn't get the start. I know it's you. Last time we spoke, you're like, he just came onto the team, but like, do you think it's maybe something a little deeper? I mean, same with Manu. You're like, oh no, he's just trying to ease him in, but like, I don't know. I feel like it
the
might
Mainu
be.
one, I'm starting to be a little more concerned,
Hmm.
just especially after seeing all the reports that were coming out. Like, especially with Amron saying in preseason that he literally said to the conference like, "I've big plans for Kabi." So like that was what was keeping me hope for him. But like after seeing those transfer, like Kabi saying he wanted a loan, that was a little concerning. Sesko, I think he's still adapting to the league a bit. Um, I think definitely after the international break, he'll start breaking into the starting lineup.
All right. Were there any other points you wanted to make from this one before we go to Sundays?
Hopefully, it's the turning point. Seems like after this game, slight light at the end of the tunnel. I mean, got rid of finally free from the shackles of Jadon Sancho for at least a season.
Yeah, I mean, next game, you guys. Oh, speaking of Sancho, dude, I saw reports that like if you Sancho, like if his contract, eventually ended up and like he wasn't able to get a move anywhere, that y'all were going to renew his contract even more to just to recoup losses, like so you guys could make some money off of him, which made like zero sense.
Yeah, I don't know what we do in our.
It's like people investing into like something that's like a losing stock and then they like put more money hoping that like
Oh, it will eventually rise.
yeah.
Yeah, we need to take some lessons at Blueco.
Yeah. But next game that you guys have, I think will be super entertaining and matched up with City, who's been it's a little worrying for them and Pep, dude. But we can move on to that game, Man City versus Brighton. City kind of dominated the first half. Probably should have been up a couple goals, but Man, that second half completely flipped on its head. Just to recap, Holland did score the opener in the first half, and then like 35 minutes in, he missed a couple pretty good
It had a
chances.
few malfunctions.
Dude, he had one on one with the keep. Like second touch was terrible, and just yeah, poor finishing. But then yeah, second half, Brighton completely flipped. To your point, Hertzler, bold, like he made four subs at once, and that just completely changed the game. All those guys. They won a penalty. James Milner scored. He's what, 38, second oldest player to ever score the Premier League.
Yeah. So did you hear the craziest stat on James Milner?
No.
So two crazy stats. He's the second youngest ever scorer in the Premier League, and after Sunday, he's now also the second oldest ever player to score in the Premier League. And then he's the first ever player in history to score against a keeper born in 1960s, 70s, 80s, 90s, and the 2000s.
That's insane.
And so he scored against James Trafford. So when Milner made his debut at Leeds, Trafford was a month old.
Speaking of Trafford, I think he really kept City in the game. I think Brighton could have been up a little earlier, but he made two, I can remember vividly, like two crucial. He had one like kind of one-on-one down to the right, and then he had that one flying one. But
Oh, that one was nice. The first
yeah,
one.
there was another one like I don't know if you remember the bottom right shot where he barely got a finger, but it was heading towards the corner.
No.
It was right before half. Yeah, it was insane. Um, but he had a really good game, I thought. Putting my bias aside. But yeah, to your point, Ruter made a difference. Gruda too.
What were your I think one player also who looked really good or really bad was uh Ryan Nate Nori was getting cooked.
Mhm.
Uh there was one where he straight up kicked him in the face and he was still making that run, Minte. Um but yeah, Minte was cooking Ryan Nate Nori the entire match.
Aside from Ait Nori, were there any other players that for City that disappointed you? Or maybe let me flip this. What's been wrong with City? Everyone were City fans were saying, "Oh, once Pep gets Rodri back, and this team is gonna change. He won the Ballon d'Or, best player in the world." But even with him back, and he said, "I'm not Messi. I can't just win the
Yeah,
game for
I
us
like that, honest.
post game." Um, so what do you think's wrong with City and Pep?
Um, I don't know if he truly knows like if you don't have a reliable defense, can't win. Um, if you always leak goals, then you're always in a battle to you're just gonna have to score more than you concede, like obviously to win. And like having a bad defense just doesn't help. So I don't think he knows his truly best back line yet. Still, um, I think the it's definitely not Nunez playing right back. I think that experiment's gotta stop.
Yeah, I'm surprised they didn't go after a proper right back this window.
Yeah, I think the right back market was like pretty good too. Like I'm sure we'll touch on transfers later, but like Benjamin Pavard just got to move to Marseille, and I think he would have been like perfect fit for City playing right back. Can cover at center back if players go down. Uh,
Hmm.
so Rico Lewis, he's not your conventional right back either. He likes to convert. I think he's a better option than Nunez.
Hmm.
Um, and then the center back pairing, I think Stones is kind of aging, and they do kind of like playing the higher line, and I don't
Yeah.
think
Well, there is a difference between high line and like what they're doing though. Pep is playing insane high line. Like those guys were like almost at the half touch line at times. They're like that semicircle. I was like, what is Pep doing? Like, why is the line so high?
yeah, maybe he took inspiration from Hansi Flick.
Hmm.
I don't know. But it's like Stones is just not fit for that type of style.
No, and then like, I mean, again, we'll touch on transfer, but like Donnarumma, they signed him for pretty big money, and I assume he'll start. Like, if you're gonna you know,
Yeah, he
I
was
think
kind of pricey for
yes,
yeah.
and I think like Trafford fits Pep's system a little better, whereas Donnarumma is like pretty poor with his feet. He's a pure shot stopper. And so if you're going to play that high line, like Trafford's better than Donnarumma. So I don't know, just some of these signings just don't make sense for me. And like it just seems very unlike Pep, like just making the wrong moves.
Yeah, losing the plot a bit. Um, and also, oh, Savino's hurt. I was gonna say Savino. I was wondering like why Savino wasn't playing, but he must be hurt still. Yeah.
And then like
Yeah, they
you
don't
mentioned
have.
it too, opening match, like how Bernardo Silva was captain, and then
Yeah,
I
you
thought,
gotta move on from him.
yeah, like he started again. I thought maybe he'd just come on as sub, like a sub after that second game, and like he started again. It's just I don't know what Pep is doing.
Yeah, it's yeah, Turkey's hurt, but I think you still can play other options in there. Like, uh, who's that one tall youngster? Nico O'Reilly.
Hmm.
Like, if anything, you could have played him there. Um, yeah, so it's just I don't know. Pep still, I guess he's staying loyal to like some of the players just that have brought him so much success, but like he just needs to like move on from a few of them.
Yeah, I feel like he's kind of done the opposite of before. Like a lot of his success came from guys that are proven themselves, kind of like the likes of De Bruyne, obviously, Aguero. We can never replace him.
Immediately brings Holland the next year, breaks the
Bern
record. Yeah.
Bernardo Silva, like Sterling too. Like these guys brought him a lot of the success, but like, and they had proven themselves. But like a lot of their signings now, it's like, I guess it's just kind of the trend of football these days is like, it's not really guys that have proven themselves now. It's they're signing people that have potential. And that's what you see with like a lot of his most recent signings, like Doku, uh, Savinho, um, who's the Nico Gonzalez, like these types of guys. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, I even Marmoush and Cherky, like they haven't really proven. You can see their potential, but like they're banking on potential, you know.
Yeah. I I gotta reckon I should be in the sideline with Pep. I'll put out a lineup for him.
What would be your ideal lineup versus
All right.
a team
For
like Brighton?
for a team like Brighton, Trafford, and then out right back, I'd put Rico Lewis in there. Center backs, I do. Uh, I thought Kusanov had a pretty good game. I'll
I'm a
be
fan of
honest.
him. Yeah.
He looks better every game. So Kusanov and I would have started Ruben Diaz, and then left back, stick out Nori. Then Rodri got to be in there. I would have taken out Silva and put Marmoush like in that middle with Turkey hurt. Keep Bob and Reinders where they were and Holland up top, and then out left I'd put Doku.
Mm.
But I think the strongest lineup would be like in the middle, like Marmoush just has to play like right behind the striker. Him
Yeah,
playing out wide
that's
is
what he did, and he looked good
yeah.
this game.
hmm
So we'll see. After this international break, if
But
he
it'll be
makes some
weird to
changes.
see like how City lines up with their like strongest lineup when everyone's healthy, because like we were just saying, Marmoush is the best like right behind the striker, but then that's also like where Turkey likes to play, so like it'll be like I don't know, just a bit
And
crowded.
then, yeah, even like Foden, but I guess Foden would be kind of coming off the right now.
Mm, yeah.
Um, yeah, I think I don't know when Vordiol is coming back, but I think the best pairing is going to be him and Kusanov.
Oh, that's I completely blanked on Vardio. Yeah.
Yeah, whenever he's back. But we'll see after international break if Pep kind of gets his stuff together. He's definitely kind of losing it right now.
Hasn't gotten to the point where he said he wants to hurt himself again. I went to
These losses are good for me. uh, Crazy. Um,
I wish he stuck with because in the off season, like 2 weeks before the season started, he had like a mustache, crazy thick mustache, and everyone's like,
yeah,
"Oh, this is about to be crazy, Pep."
yeah, he's gone. he's gone fully off the rails. Um, but we'll move on to the big one and the last Premier League game we'll touch on, which is Arsenal Liverpool. There's been breaking news. Isak is now a red for what, 130 mil
Yeah.
was what's agreed. So we touched on it a little in the opening, but this seemed more like the way Arsenal was set up. Classic Arteta, just let's get away with a point. Let's not lose the game. But what
Coward.
and ended up happening is they lost the game. Yeah, I do wish he went for it, versus like, and like if you lose, then oh well, like you could have potentially, but like coming to the game for a point and then losing it, that's embarrassing. But
Coward. Cowardly move. All fans.
we'll
That's your manager.
yeah,
Mm.
we'll get into some of the player performances, but this game really was quite boring for most of it. But
Another fun
Soboslai,
fact. Sorry, before you get into Szoboszlai's. Another fun fact. You know how we were saying the Leeds Newcastle, we were talking on the side how that was like the lowest XG in the season. Um,
yeah,
this one beat it for being the lowest. Uh,
this game did.
yeah.
Oh wow, yeah. So it just wasn't much happening. I do think when Curtis Jones came in, he did kind of change the game a little with his ball carrying. But yeah, you could see Liverpool kind of after the hour mark. They were kind of growing into the game. Wirtz had a chance. Salah had a chance. But yeah, Soboslai, his free kick, his abilities. Trent is gone, so he's the main guy taking free kicks now. It seems like slapped it perfect. Told Declan Rice, you can hold that. I'm the best on the field at this. So um, insane goal. But I think, yeah. So we'll get into like player performances, but on Liverpool side, I think Soboslai, one of the most underrated players. Like everyone talks about their big signings, Salah, Van Dijk, Allison, but like this kid, like he's been important for them ever since he came. Like his engine, like his versatility, and then just like his quality too. Like yeah, his final third was kind of lacking a little when he first joined Liverpool, but it's definitely improved.
Yeah, he looks good in that right back role, and I'm a little worried for their other big money signing Frimpong when he's back healthy because I think for you got to tailor it to your best player who is still Mo Salah, even though he had a poor game and last game he was quite poor versus Newcastle, but like he's still your best player on the team. You got to make your game plan around him, and so I think. Szoboszlai's style of play at right back definitely suits Salah better than Frimpong.
Yeah, I mean, he's basically replaced Trent. Like the balls he's able to put in, like whipping, kind of like Trent's, like free kicks. I think he's better than Trent. Um,
Even defensively, he
def-
looks, yeah,
yeah.
actually tracks the runners and um, I think, yeah, defending wise, he's actually, I think, done better than Trent. Um, but yeah, Szoboszlai for sure. I think man of the match, not
hmm
just because of the free kick, but the shift he was putting in and performance. Close second, I'd say Van Dijk. I think
Yeah.
he's been obviously he won't get on score sheet, but he's been I think Liverpool's best player the past two games. Even though they've conceded like two goals each of those games, like without Van Dijk, it they could have taken L's.
Oh yeah. And it's insane. Like he still looks like he's looks like he's in his prime right now. Like
Hmm.
at this age is insane. And even going forward, he was the one that I don't know if you remember the first half. Like he was that one that had that press and stole the ball from Raya's clearance.
Oh yes, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Almost set up Wirtz. He was the one that had over the top second half to Salah, and he was the one that kind of had that line breaking pass to Wirtz too. So offensively too, he kind of created surprisingly, but
And he's been having to cover for Kanate. I don't know what's up with Kanate. His head is. thinking about like a move to Madrid because I know there's links to it, but like he's been off of it this year, and just Van Dijk's been having to kind of carry that weight.
Yeah, I think this game he definitely played back to his old self from last season. But yeah, that's a good point. The first
Yeah.
two games, and Kirk has too. He's looked a little off.
Shaky. Yeah.
Madueke, he looked like kind of Arsenal's outlet. He looked like Saka today. Like
Hmm.
was the one that would be able to get the goal, but there were a few times Kirk has just he was getting beat by Madueke pretty
I think
easily.
that's the Madueke that like all Chelsea fans know of. Like skillful, can beat the man, but like at times his final product is like kind of off because like some of the crosses he had and stuff were like not the best of quality, but like in terms of actually getting the best of Kirkez, I thought Madueke was doing a good, like a really good job.
Yeah, and then I guess Liverpool. So we touched on their back line, their midfield. Um, Not much to say. Like Arsenal weren't pressing high. Like Gravenberch was able to turn pretty easily and stuff.
That
Like,
man's got the
but
best. Like every time I see it, it's just like best drop of the shoulder in the world. It's crazy.
Gravenberch, yeah,
There was
insane.
one he was getting pressured like by two guys in his own like 18 almost, and like got away with the drop on his shoulder. I was like crazy.
Um, Wirtz, I think he looked better towards the last 20 minutes of the game. Started heating up a little, but still, I think he's needs to find his footing.
I think it's just the pace of the Prem right now is he's just not used to it. I think he'll obviously come to good use. It's just picking up the speed. Like it's a little concerning. It's not the position, I don't think. It's more so like just not up to the pace yet. Like even his like passing right now is like can't even execute like the passes to his teammates, like making the wrong decisions. I know there was one run he had where he had like Salah or I think a straight pass to Ekatike. I think Salah was the better option, so it's just like small little things, which I think he'll get better at.
I think, especially with Isak now, I do think he might start out on the left because, I mean, the most expensive signing, he has to, like, he can't come from the bench. And, like,
Oh no.
same with Isak. So they're going to have to play both of them. So I think Ikatike, like, he might play as kind of the second striker right behind Isak. And I think, unfortunately for Gakpo, he might be rotated with Wirtz and those three guys. But I do want to see Wirtz come out from the left. Like Xabi Alonso did that a lot with him, like kind of come in from the left. So I think that might help him out because in the middle right now, even finding spaces, he kind of looks lost. Um, and then Salah too, he kind of had a poor game in my opinion. Like
He had a
he's got
stinker.
it on the score sheet the last two games, but he looked poor. He's looked poor every game.
Yeah, he's had a stinker. He just looks like really rusty. Especially this game was like clearly obvious how rusty he looked. Like even his like first touches were way off of it.
Hmm. I think Gakpo, he's looked much better on the other side. Like he's looked levels above Salah.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I think this could have been a game where like I guess you're never gonna do it because he's your best player, but like taking out like when you see someone having that much of a stink, it was like glaringly obvious the law was having a really terrible game. Like
Hmm.
I feel like you gotta have the balls to like take him out.
Yeah. And then if you want to flip to Arsenal, kind of let's talk about some of those player performances. You want to talk about Gyökeres first? What?
He's hold up play good, but
But I don't know how you can kind of negatively judge him when, if you think about it, he was getting isolated with Van Dijk and Konate all game. Like what was he supposed to do though?
yeah, he was a bit isolated. Doesn't help that. I mean, Madueke was I thought doing like pretty okay, but like, Martinelli's not that great. Uh,
I was surprised as they didn't start there.
yeah, and then the midfield three was just disgusting. So couldn't really get the service, but I think regardless, Jokic would have still had a tough time just because of the class of Van Dyke.
Yeah, especially
It's
Van
hard.
Dijk because
It's hard to judge when he didn't have the players around him.
I think this is a game Arteta really messed up. Like you got to start Eze, and I do think he should have hooked Gyökeres just because it just this type of game didn't suit him. You know, like yeah, you can ask him to run against Konate and Van Dijk, but it was like him versus those two guys a lot of times. I think what he should have done is just hooked him and put Mourinho up top because I think Mourinho's a little better back to goal and playing kind of a little because I mean they were playing so deep anyway, so why not have Mourinho come a little deeper as a striker?
Playing Mourinho as striker again.
But we saw it last year; it worked.
Yeah.
And I think that would have been a little more successful.
Yeah, is this Arsenal thing? I feel like it's like deja vu whenever I talk about Arsenal, but like they're so boring to watch because like literally playing for the set pieces. Um, and this game though, this was one of the few games where I thought Declan Rice's services were like average. I don't know if it's because Allison's just a really like up there keeper wise, but like the services, I just wasn't impressed by this game. They were all kind of just average.
Hmm. And then, yeah, I think the one standout for me in Arsenal is Musquera. He came in for Saliba, and I thought he had like a great performance.
Mm.
And I know he's come in like kind of garbage time for Arsenal, but like this was like his real, like his first real appearance, in my opinion, like legit. And I think he passed with flying colors.
Yeah. For the first like few minutes, he was a little shaky, but I mean, that's just coming fresh as a defender. But after those first few minutes, yeah, he looked really comfortable back there. Um, you want to touch on their other signings like Zubamendi? I feel like he's still kind
Yeah,
of trying to catch. Same with like where it's like I don't think he's like up to pace with the Prem yet.
yeah, I think he's looked okay. Um, I think just playing with Rice is such a luxury. Like he gets covered a lot, but I do think Zubamendi's going to be a really good player for Arsenal. Um, like him being able to just control possession and stuff. But I think, yeah, he did find it difficult against Liverpool. But I think the last game, I mean, it was against Leeds. He definitely looked like he was on pace.
Yeah, it's it's Leeds. Well, let me not say it's Leeds because we did struggle
Yeah.
with Burnley. Not say that. Uh, but yeah, Arsenal. It's concerning, man. Low key. Even with the Eze signing, I'm still not fully moved by them. Um, and I guess you're right. Saka's injury must be like pretty bad. I thought it was a cramp, but it does look like it was a hamstring. Um, and then yeah, to your point, I think this game's also on Arteta because uh Dowman, this is not a game to uh
Yeah.
bring him in. If you want to bring in your youngster, you got to bring in Ethan.
Did he come on? Did Ethan even come on?
Uh-uh.
Dude, that's terrible. I feel bad for Ethan. He got hoodwinked. Arteta, because he wanted to leave Arsenal because he wasn't going to get PT. Arteta was begging,
Yeah.
stay.
Like I think Ethan should have came on, and then like if Jokers did come out, like yeah, we could have put Marino, and then maybe just trying something different, like Trossard. Like I feel like he's a good off the bench player.
This Martinelli experience has got to go now.
Yeah, take the offer from Saudi. Like that's a lot of money you could really invest in something quality.
Dude, Arsenal fans are so delusional about him.
Martinelli, dude, there was one where like Martinelli was straight, heads down, sprinting, but like he had to pass to Gyökeres. We could have slipped him behind, but he just like carried the ball and like yeah, so predictable.
He does not play like a Brazilian.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you want to talk about Hoyland being a track star, that's another. Add him to the 400-meter event.
Oh man. Yeah, that was so it's yeah. But to your point again, just not many takeaways from this game is pretty disappointing for how highly anticipated it was just because these were the champions and runners up from last year.
I think it was both of us being naive though, because this was classic Arteta.
Uh
Sitting like they literally had all 11 guys in their own half for like we need to look up a stat. We need to look that up, but like
Hmm.
I bet 40% of the game all 11 of Arsenal were behind in their own half.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, just setup was awful, man. Um Odegaard obviously wasn't hurt, like came on 20 minutes left, so it's one of those games like yeah, like you got to go for it because like if you go for it, get get the 3 points in that great. If you go for it and come out with a draw, like it's like
That's yeah.
still a point. Like 1 point versus 0 points against the Liverpool's like not detrimental. So like why not at least like I don't know. It's
Yeah, exactly. And then if you get three, hey,
yeah,
that's a
it's
huge win.
extra bonus. Yeah,
But I mean, that's why Arsenal's been finishing second for years. It's like they're super hard to beat, but like it's because they play like this a lot of times.
yeah.
So of course it's going to be hard to beat.
Hmm.
Uh, so I think that's all for Premier League. If you want to jump into La Liga, um, talk about Vinny. Uh, he came out with a goal. Mbappe had three offside goals, two offside goals.
Dude, yeah, yeah.
Um, and then Goulet had an offside goal too. There were a lot of offside goals for Madrid, but um, Madrid ended up getting a 2-1 dub against Mallorca. Um, Mallorca were the ones to score first, actually, and then Madrid kind of came back after they scored that Goulet goal. Is kind of they kind of controlled a lot of the game, but then Mallorca still like the longer the game went on, 2-1. Um, Mallorca had a few chances, but who stood out for you for Madrid?
Um, Unfortunately, it's Alvaro. Uh, so it's,
Mm.
like it's sad to see him going. We traded him away for peanuts, man. He looked really good, fitting in really well with the team. Made like a crazy goal line clearance to keep the game, t or keep the lead intact. I thought he had a really good game, and I think he works well with Vinicius. Like he's really good at making both overlap and underlapping runs, and like his final product's like usually pretty good too. Um, so he looked really good, and then Arda Güler again, like he looks like he's a really big centerpiece for Alonso. Everything kind of goes through him.
Yeah, I love how he's playing like through the middle now. Like that's definitely his best position.
Is he gonna have to go out wide though? Because that Franco kid,
Messintuno.
I don't want to be too harsh on him because he's 18, but he didn't look all that great again.
Yeah, last week it looked like he was trying to do too much, and like maybe it was because it's his first start, but this one he just looked quite bad.
Hmm. But again, like you were saying, like Goulet, he looks great down the middle. Um,
Hmm.
and I'm not Brahim Diaz also, I don't like him out wide. I think he's more of a like playing through the middle type. So
Hmm.
Rodrigo maybe, but again, Rodrigo likes coming out the left. So that's I think that's the one position Madrid will kind of have to work on figuring out. Um, you have any takeaways from Madrid? Any of the Madrid
Uh,
players?
Not really. I do think Madrid just with Trent, I do think they look a little more dynamic going forward
Quick question
versus
for you.
Carvajal.
Um, So I know, like, obviously Premier League, that's like cream of the top league, and we saw Trent getting exposed defensively. You think that will be the same case with him in La Liga, or you think it will suit him better? Like teams won't be able
No,
to take advantage as much.
yeah, I do think he'll be exposed still in the La Liga, and I think especially with Liverpool, I think his defensive lapses, I think, were masked a little. Like everyone saw it, but I think it's really worse than people think because of how good Konate and Van Dijk were. But I think at Madrid, it's going to get exposed even more. Obviously, it didn't really happen against Mallorca. Just uh, it's Mallorca. I don't know, but like offensively, he looks like he's going to be a key piece. But yeah, I think defensively, he's still going to be weak.
Yeah, that was kind of crazy reports where it's like midweek when it was like Xabi Alonso saying that he wants Danny Carvajal to be like their ultimate starting right back. And then
Oh
after
yeah.
that, seeing like reports of like City sparking interest in bringing him back and stuff was crazy. Um, so Madrid, they have gone 3 for 3 to start the year.
I will say they still haven't looked convincing though in any of their
No,
games.
they have glimpses, but not a
Exactly.
consistent 90 minutes.
I do think they've improved from last year already though.
Yeah. I think one player for sure, Chouameni, will be like a key piece also. He can't afford to get injured this year.
And then the other big La Liga game was Barca versus Rayo Vallecano. Um, there's a lot of debate in this one.
No
That was
PK.
clearly not a penalty, right? I mean,
Yeah. You think the game should have been postponed?
yeah. I mean, if VAR is not working, postpone that.
Because it was working during warm-ups and stuff. But then like as the game started, it wasn't working. So
Yeah, I feel like VAR is a key piece of the game now. Like you have to be fair, and you should just postpone it to either another day or just push it back until it's working again. That's poor by La Liga.
yeah. I'm not gonna lie, just slightly worried about my prediction of Barca being champions. They look very vulnerable. Um, like I'm just thinking back, I'm like, how did they? I think Inago Martinez was a really big playing piece, like his intelligence playing that high
Mhm.
line, but like they look like they can be get at like every time. Um,
I think they should have lost this match.
that
To your
Garcia
point,
keeper.
dude, I mentioned him. Remember when I was saying you guys should go after him?
Yeah, I wasn't fully convinced because he was playing like on a bad side, so I was like, oh, he probably just was facing so many shots, so it was like maybe inflated, but
No, he's the real deal, and like especially with like him as a sweeper keeper too is like he's perfect for Barca, but he saved them a ton this game.
yeah, it was
Um,
crazy.
Yeah, right. It kills me that one player that their striker reminds me of Stephen
Even
Ireland.
Ireland, I was gonna say that, yeah. Dude, he was good though. He was
Yeah, he was solid.
tearing them apart, like that high line. Um, yeah, I thought Barca could have easily lost. It's a shame, yeah, shame that VAR wasn't working because that was clearly not a pen. That's a little bit of Lamin's game I get annoyed about is like he always looks for the foul and throws himself to the ground.
Yeah, I will say like Barca, it is nice how much like weapons they have off the bench though, because like Rafinha and Dani Olmo, the three of them. Lamine looked a little better than those guys, but like he was a little off. But like those three guys looked terrible, and it was nice that like that they just have on the bench that Lewandowski and like Rashford to try to change the game.
hmm Even though Lewandowski looked kind of off of it, not gonna lie. Um,
It's a hair change.
yeah, I don't know what he's doing with that. Taking inspiration from Lamine. Everyone
Dude, it
taking
kills me.
inspiration. Garnacho.
Raf Rafinha kills me, dude. Rafinha
Why?
reminds me of like I don't know why, but I keep like getting flashbacks of like Ronaldinho.
Oh, the way he's his
Like his hair
accessories.
and headband. Yeah.
Yeah, so Barca, they are uh I think sitting third on the table. Um oh, they're saying fourth on the table because Athletic Bilbao they've been three
Hmm.
for three. Okay. And Villarreal ahead on goal differential. So La Liga, interesting. Going into international break.
Yeah, and Atletico,
Yeah, I was gonna
they're
say they
two draws now
two draws
or
and a
three.
loss.
Yep.
And the concerning part of it is they played three teams where it was like kind of guaranteed three. They should have gone three for three. Um,
Yeah, it is a little worrying for them.
there's a lot of athletic fans that like apparently think it's time for Simeone to kind of like step down. Um,
But I will say, like in his defense too, though, like they do have a lot of new signings, so maybe it just give him a little more time with these guys. But um, like especially Cordoza has looked really poor, and
mhm.
he was really nice with Betis. So I don't know, maybe just give it a little more time. But yeah, that was like one of my sleeper picks or dark horse teams, just because. Yeah, I think Simeone is definitely under fire right now.
Yeah, especially because they don't usually back him with like so many transfers like this. So like
Hmm.
he spent quite a bit. Um, but knowing Simeone, I hope he does well because I'm a
Oh yeah.
game. Um, you want to touch on some transfers before we wrap this episode up?
Yeah, let's do that. Let's do our teams first, and then we can talk about like some other uh transfers around the world. But
Sweet.
yeah, with Chelsea, Nicholas Jackson, we mentioned that. We mentioned Buonanotte. Garnacho, he was at the stadium. Got him for 40 mil, which I'm
Steal.
not gonna lie. Yeah, that's a steal in my opinion, considering how young he is still. You see the talent in him. I think it's just his mental side of the game. I think Enzo Maresca just needs to fix that. Um, so I'm really happy about that. But that's basically all our side. And then Mark Gay's back. So I think that's
Nice.
all our transfers.
Nice. Um, United, we got a goalkeeper in, thank goodness. Send Lemons from Royal Antwerp. Bless you there. I will say
Cheers.
though, for goalkeeping, I don't know how to really judge them. So what I did was I took a recommendation from someone on Twitter and looked at his fail comp to kind of really see what maybe his weaknesses are by looking at the fail comp. And not gonna lie, I'm slightly worried because his crossing ability was pretty shaky. He kind of looked like he had the same issues as Bayender. So shot stopping ability, like it looked pretty good, but in terms of crossing claiming, like it looks slightly shaky. Uh, but Bomb Squad, I think the only member left is Tyrell Malacia. We'll have to integrate him into the squad since he didn't get a move. Sancho, we are free for at least a season. Still annoyed at him because we could have got Emi Martinez if Sancho agreed to go on a permanent, but he didn't want a permanent. He just wanted a loan. Um, Anthony, he is in Real Betis on a permanent. Rasmus Højlund, um, he is in Napoli on loan. And Casemiro rejected a move to Al Nassr. And yeah, that's pretty much it for us.
I will say, we also had a few more sales. So I think we already had. I don't know if we mentioned Nkunku on here,
Hmm.
but we sold him for 40 mil. So after him, basically the sales that we've made this year is around 315 million euros. So do that conversion in dollars. But we also today, unfortunately, which I'm really hurt about, is Tyreek George.
I'm surprised he even played in the weekend. Like no one
Yeah, dude.
sold.
We were desperate for a striker, like, but he's gone to Fulham now, permanent deal for 25 mil. Um, and then Ben Chilwell, he's gone to surprisingly Strasbourg. I don't know how we pulled that one through. Ben Chilwell's gone. I'm not sure how
Legal.
much that
I think I
price.
ask you this every episode. This sounds illegal. Like,
uh, we won't talk about that on here. Ben Chilwell's gone, and then yeah, I think that's all our additional sales that we've made now
and
since then.
then,
So
wait, is Jarrell, not Jarrell, that Hato guy from Ajax, is he injured?
I don't think so.
Um,
Why?
I haven't seen him play yet. I thought he'd like get some
He
playing time.
Yeah, he came on when we were clapping West Ham.
Ah, gotcha. Okay. Um, and then we can, yeah, touch on some other transfers around the world and also some breaking news that have happened.
All right. One signing that I wanted to touch on was definitely um who do I want to touch on? Oh, Mateus Fernandez for West Ham. I've been talking about him since his Southampton days last season, how I thought he was the best player for them. And he signed by West Ham for 40 mil, but he had an unbelievable, unbelievable debut. He got a standing ovation and everything. Um, but I think he's key for West Ham. You mentioned that they need to sign a DM. He's not a proper DM, but like he can play there, can also play attacking mid, come off from the left. So versatile player. Graham Potter can kind of place him wherever if he's still in this job. But I think that's a gem of a signing.
Yeah, he looked really good. Definitely a bit more quality than Suchek and that Guido Rodriguez guy, like going
Oh yeah,
forward. So, um,
unbelievable player. He's top. He's going to the top.
right to the top. Sporting, Sporting Lisbon product. Same product as Amarin coaching.
You want to talk about Pep real quick? How he maybe a mad genius.
Why?
Remember Champions League when City lost to Sporting 4-1?
Yeah.
Ever since then, remember United? They were all up on, oh, Emery. Ever since that game, what if Pep was like, let's lose on purpose so United get Emery? Because before then, it wasn't really Emery. It was like, he wasn't in the discussion. But ever
Uh-huh.
since it was, y'all were
No, cause
blazing.
no, because I think we were getting links to him before the City game, and then that's when all the United fans like really tuned into the City game and versus Sport.
Yeah, after
Really
4-1,
good.
y'all were
Yeah. And that's
going
when they were like,
crazy.
"Oh, that's our manager." Yeah,
Pep is a mad genius.
maybe. Nah, I'm still gonna back Amarin. I gave my thoughts on that. I think he's got to be a bit more flexible, but I think he's a good manager.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
you
Well,
want to talk about crazy United manager, Mr. Ten Hag fired after
R.I.P.
2 games.
R.I.P.
It does kind of stink. Like he lost literally all the Leverkusen squad as he joined, but and the sad part is that that one kid from Monaco was making his move to Leverkusen and
Who?
Ben Seguir.
Wait, he went to Leverkusen?
I think so. I don't know if it's confirmed, but I know he was.
Bro,
I think he was there to get like his medical done. Um,
he should stay at Monaco, dude.
yeah,
That move does not make sense.
yeah, confirmed.
Dang, dude.
Yeah. Um,
I do not like that move for him.
mm-mm, not at all. Uh, but yeah, crazy part also, I literally just saw it, was Mark Gahey, uh, his deal to Liverpool collapsed because apparently, despite the medical, Fabrizio said, despite medical done and deal sheet submitted, Palace don't approve the move. After Igor deal was off, because Palace were trying
Mm,
to get Igor, but Igor decided to go somewhere else. Um, so
good for
Indy
Palace.
from the tweet from Indy Kalai, who's been coming up with crazy tweets. He's like, Gahey currently in tears. Um, family and everyone here to support him. How do you know this, man?
uh,
Fabrizio, though,
good.
he's kind of had stinkers. If you
Yeah,
want to talk
he's
about
missed.
stinkers, literally said Paqueta agreed to Villa, and then Paqueta's celebration was like, "No, I'm staying."
Yeah, I'm glad for Palace though, because he's going to be a key piece for them. Um, and I mean, they made another pretty big signing with who's their new number 10? That
Oh, Yeremy Pino,
Pino from Villarreal.
Aussie, yeah,
Yeah, so that's I know he came off the he I didn't watch the Villa game, but did he play at
yeah,
all?
he played, yeah, and he looked really good.
Okay. And I mean they still got that SA kid too, so
Mhm.
some SA replacements here.
And Pino
So glad
plays like out.
Marquez staying.
Pino plays out wide, at least for Villarreal, but in the game versus Aston Villa, he was playing pretty much down the middle. He's looking really good, cooking the entire Villa team. Um,
And then real quick, speaking of, you mentioned Ten Hag, also RIP to two other United coaches fired within the same week. Jose Mourinho gone from Fenerbahce, and then your favorite,
Ollie,
Ali,
um,
sacked.
I love Ollie, man. He's the greatest manager we've had since Sir Alex. Um, I've always said that. Um,
Well, I think probably Jose,
for the Europa
like,
League,
yeah, Europa
yeah,
League
yeah, that's true.
heritage.
I think favorite like the most I've enjoyed watching us play after Sir Alex was definitely Oli
It's
though.
Ali.
And he was so close to like really having the complete team.
Hmm.
Just needed like a Rice in the middle. Um, you got any other breaking news or anything?
Oh yeah, some other transfers. Xavi Simmons. I don't know if we've
Oh, yeah, yeah.
mentioned him, but huge by Spurs. Usually, I feel like Spurs typically, if they don't get their top guy or they're like rejected, they're usually go for like some cheap option. But
Mhm.
they got a big dog. I was really hurt because I was guaranteed. I was like begging for a 10, and I was like, oh, we're gonna get him easy. But like Spurs came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
I was really hurt.
Um, Lil Wayne out here collecting royalties with this his song. Let it
Let it
all.
all work out.
Do you think it was
It really
slightly
did.
it was kind of cringy. I don't know. Tottenham they tweeted and said it all worked out. And I was like, oh
I
damn.
thought it was savage by Spurs
Yeah.
because, like, yeah, they missed out on Eze and they missed out on Gibbs White, but I think they got the best of the three. Xavi Simmons. I think
Yeah, I
he's,
think he's upgraded to Gibbs White for sure.
yeah, and Eze. Like, Eze is solid, but like, he's what, 27?
Mm-hmm.
Xavi
And
Simmons
he's a
is
bit,
21.
yeah, 21, 22. As is a bit injury prone too. Um, some other big transfers.
But no, I was so hurt though by that. Like, you made a good point where like we really dragged that one out. Like, we were just desperate to make some
Yeah,
sales
because
for some
I
reason.
always give you guys props for like never being linked with transfers and like just out of the blue, just get it done. Um,
Yeah.
like Fabrizio's, it's always just like a deal confirmed for you guys, never a here we go. So that one was just dragging on, which is unlike you guys.
Yeah, and we got the notification at what, like 6 a.m. So like what the heck? Like Spurs did like some medical like They were desperate to get that one done.
Yeah, because
Quick.
you guys were linked for him for a while. So, um, yeah, I don't know what changed his mind, but yeah, you got to act fast on these transfers. Other big transfers. Your boy Harvey Elliott is going to Villa. Um,
Hmm.
that's a good signing for Villa. Um,
That's worrying for Liverpool, though, with especially AFCON this year. When Salah's out, who's gonna play out there?
mm, yeah, Rio. Rio.
I
He's more
guess,
left-sided
yeah.
though. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Um, Arsenal. Another center back added. He's a quality player too. So it's gonna be annoying if he's just dropped on the bench. Henkape from Leverkusen. Um,
That brings their spending up to 300 mil this year. Not many
G.
sales either.
Um, Nottingham Forest. They get Zinchenko. He's kind of been irrelevant. He's a bit of a crybaby too. Did you see his one interview? He's basically saying like he
Mm-mm.
he was saying he wants to leave Arsenal because he can't come home to his wife saying uh the kids are asking why you're on the bench and not playing, something like that. And he's like, it always breaks my heart when they say that.
Dude, that is savage.
Yeah. Um, so I think that's pretty much all the transfer talk. Um, yeah.
Oh, and I guess Newcastle. They had a couple now since we last talked, but um Walton made for
Oh,
what,
yeah.
like 90 mil?
Yeah.
Crazy. And
Big
just a few
money.
years ago, he was like worth $0 or something like that,
Mhm.
like low tier, but I like him. I think he's going to be really good fit with Newcastle. But today they also got Wissa finally.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So that was needed. And then Juventus, they also got that one kid from Leipzig, Openda.
Mm,
So I thought that was a really good signing, but that hurts my Leipzig prediction, my dark horse
yeah.
team. Um, and then the biggest transfer of them all, David Luiz. He is back in the Champions League.
No way. What team?
He signed for some uh, Paphos FC. So they're a team in Cyprus, tiny country, and it's the first ever team from Cyprus qualifying for Champions League. So
Mm, jeez. Uh,
legend of the game.
for real. Go into that Walton mode. How do you say his name? Walton mode? Voldemort? Uh,
Hmm.
that,
Baltimore, yeah, that's what I call him.
oh, that's what you call him. His so Newcastle, they had like a little like quick fire question interview with him. They asked him who his favorite German soccer player of all time is. Can you guess the answer?
Favorite soccer player of all time.
Favorite
Was it
German
a German?
soccer? Yeah,
German?
question was favorite German soccer player of all time.
Hmm. Podolski.
Nah, he said he said I like Kai Havertz.
He said that?
Yeah.
Oh my God. He might be confused by the question or something.
hmm So, yeah, Premier League, this is like I don't know if we say it every time, but like this legitimately feels like a super league with like all these type of players coming into the league. Um,
Oh yeah.
it's crazy.
Oh, and
Even like
Spurs too.
mid-table clubs are getting like big signings.
Yeah, Spurs also made a transfer of that one guy, Koulibaly.
Oh, no way. They got him? I thought you
Yeah, they got him.
Oh, dang.
What do you think about him?
I feel like
I know, like,
there's a player in there. I feel like I don't think like Frankfurt he looked really good. Just never worked out for him at PSG. Juve, you saw like glimpses of it of his Frankfurt days, just not enough of it. But like I think
Hmm.
at his absolute best, he's like a really good link up player. Um, and I mean a pretty good finisher, but mostly known for his like link up play for sure. You think he'll replace Brennan Johnson?
Do you think that this was a worry for Solanke was a kind of a big money signing if you think about it. Like, are you
He's like
worried for him?
60 mil, right?
Yeah.
Slightly, especially with the form Richarlison's been in. And it seems like Thomas Frank really favors Richarlison because at the moment, like Solanke is not injured or anything. It's just preference.
Hmm.
And Richarlison, like he's really been impressing too, like off the ball work and all that. So slightly concerning for Solanke.
And then a few more signings just to wrap it up. Zinchenko is in Nottingham. And then Fulham, they haven't really made too many signings this year, this
Just that
window, but
Tyreek.
Tariq George, but then they also got Chukwueze from Milan.
Oh,
So they're bolstering their attack there.
dang, I'm kind of behind on these transfers. These are hitting right now live.
And then another live one for you. Your dark horse team in Bundesliga, uh, Werder Bremen, Boniface signed
Ooh.
there. So
Wonder how that worked out because he
good
failed the
signing.
medical at Milan. Um,
Yeah. Apparently his knee is fucked.
I saw images. It looked a bit vile to look at. It's kind of
Dude,
gross. Um, so I think that's all the news, right? That we got.
I th for the most part. And then also one more. Have you heard about the whole saga in Marseille?
Yeah, the Rabiot thing.
W- Rabiot, yeah, he got into a heated fight with
Jonathan Rowe.
Jonathan Rowe, yeah. Um, so Rabiot signed for Milan,
Hmm.
uh, and Rowe signed for Bologna,
Hmm.
and those two, after international break, the first matchup is Milan versus Bologna.
Whew, that's about to be bloodbath.
Fire.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I need to, listeners, you all need to tune into Marseille's YouTube channel and watch. Basically, they do a all or nothing type, where they cover Marseille from last season. And from what I've heard, is like it's kind of cinema, just with like all the characters in there. Um, but like after that whole feud between Rabiot and Jonathan Rowe, apparently
Hmm.
Rabiot's mom, who's like his agent, came out and had this whole statement, and statement was pretty wild. She was like, my son, he's a really good human on and off the pitch. You can't for she's like, I can't believe De Zerbi would do this, blah blah blah. He's like, you can't give my son a chance, but yet you'll keep rapists and killers and murderers on your team. And I'm like,
Jesus.
I was like, yeah,
She
she was going off the
she
deep
is
end.
spitting facts, but oh my God. I
Yeah,
didn't know they were doing a like an all or nothing type thing. I'll have to
yeah.
check that
I'll
out.
send you the link. I saw like a trailer type for it, and it looked pretty good. I've
Dude,
heard
that's gonna be a fun team to follow.
just from the YouTube clips and like what people have clipped from that YouTube videos on Twitter is like
Yeah.
some people are like exposing De Zerbi and like his uh
Was he like this at Brighton?
I don't know. I thought he was kind of liked, but like he's had a lot of fallouts with like players like that Ishmael Kone. He had like a crazy fallout with him during a training session and kicked him out, and he went to like another team.
Yeah, and after their last loss, not Lyon, but I forget who they played before, but didn't he say all the players have small penises?
Something like that. Yeah. Um,
Deserby's a I do not remember this Deserby yet in the Premier League.
yeah, I do
Maybe he
not
was filtered.
maybe, but yeah, he seems completely unfiltered at Marseille.
Dude, I
So
definitely got to check that documentary out.
yeah. I'll have to check it out too. But yeah, that's a crazy way to end it. But I think that's all for this week, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for hanging out with us, and we'll be back next time to talk more footy, highlight game-changing super subs, and drop takes hotter than a derby day. This coming weekend is international break, so stay tuned. We have a very fun episode or two coming up. You'll see some surprises there. But if you've enjoyed the chat, make sure to subscribe, drop us a rating, and share the pod with friends and family. But until then, keep the football chatter alive, and we'll catch you on the next episode. Peace.
Peace.